The markets continue to rally back towards the upside with, of course, semis leading the markets higher. We have all-time highs on the major indices. Right now, this is the best market conditions to trade, to swing trade, to long-term invest. The markets are providing us with plenty of different opportunities. So right now is the time to capitalize. In this video, I'll talk about 5 of my main watches coming into this week. We'll talk about some of the watches that I mentioned last week that have been performing very well. With that being said, let's hop straight into my trading calendar for this month so far. To give you guys an update, right now up $59,000 on the month so far on my day trading account. For my trade win percentage, 66%, profit factor 3.7, day win percentage 90%, average win to loss ratio of 1.85. I took 2 trades today. One was on Intel, one was on AMD, and I'm making $9,000. Both were to the upside. I talked about the game plan, of course, on the weekend, and the dip ads from last week are playing out very nicely. We talked about the potential undercut reclaim on the SPY and Qs. We ended up getting our bounce on Thursday, and now you can see we're already back at our all-time highs. So the markets move very quickly, but if you're able to capitalize on that dip last week, we're already back at our all-time highs levels, and there's a lot of names that are up 30% on the underlying. Let's first talk about the overall markets in the game plan moving forward. So last week, the key levels that we have marked out, of course, was at 700. We talked about the potential bounce off that 9 EMA for a move back up in towards that all-time highs. And on the SPY and Qs, we end up getting our undercut reclaim continuation back up in towards that all-time highs. So we're looking for that flip here on the Qs. We got that flip, and now we're back at our key levels. For the SPY, similar thesis. Key level that we have marked out, 730. We had that undercut. We end up coming back down, filling this daily gap, bounce, and now we're gravitating back up in towards that all-time highs. So for these SPY and Qs, the all-time highs is our first main objective. For the SMH, we're already back at our all-time highs here now as well. So for the Qs moving forward, we just like to see the gap up and that continuation up in towards, of course, that all-time highs that we do have. But with the overall markets being back at all-time highs, what are we going to be looking for? Let's talk about some of the main watches that we had coming to last week, starting off with INTC. You can see right off our key levels from last week, up 30%. We talked about that 100 key psych level being very key, and now we're back at our all-time highs. So Intel was very solid if you're looking to buy the dip last week. We talked about buying dips as it approaches the 9 and 21. We don't want to be buying as it hits all-time highs. We want to be buying on pullbacks. Marvel, this one's actually shaping up very nicely, defending our earnings, sorry, our daily gap up. What I like to see now for Marvel is that next leg up in towards that all-time high. So we'll talk about this a little bit more, but Marvel looks really good. MU, nice dip ad right off that 21, back at our all-time highs here. This one super nicely right off that 21 EMA, right back up into that all-time highs, up 25% on the underlying. As for AMD, nice bounce right off that 440, back up in towards our all-time highs. This one, nice move up into that 550. So AMD was fairly solid. Now let's talk about some of the names that we have on the weekend. So we talked about WDC. This is Western Digital. Really nice reclaim, right? Undercut, reclaim back above. Now we had this nice solid push up in towards our all-time highs. WDC, we're expecting a move up in towards 700 and above on this ticker. As for ARM, another one that I like a lot, right at that 21 EMA, nice solid bounce. We're looking for that push back up in towards our all-time highs. So the one thing to note here is that we're looking to buy as it pulls back into that 9 and 21. We don't want to be buying as it gravitates closer to that all-time highs. We can still be looking for positions, but we have to be a little bit more cautious and just understand where we're at, right? The 9 and 21, we want to be buying on pullbacks in an uptrend. We don't really want to be buying on breakouts. We have to be a little bit more cautious when price actually breaks out, because that's where we're going to be looking to, right, take profits. Like something on Intel, we're looking to take profits up into this 130. We don't want to be buying up into this 130. Now what we'll be waiting for is some sort of cup and handle or a daily flag pattern for that next leg towards the upside. 150 is one of the main targets here on INTC. TSM, another name to keep an eye out for. I like this one on the weekly chart. As you can see, basically up very nicely. What I like to see now is a push up in towards that all-time highs here. So TSM shaping up fairly nicely. We have another undercut reclaim. Let's see if we can get that move back up in towards that all-time highs. Nvidia is another one I'm keeping an eye out for. This one's been lagging behind, not as bullish compared to the rest of the semiconductors, but for Nvidia, undercut. Let's even get that reclaim on the weekly for a push back up and towards that all-time highs here as well. Going to take a little bit longer to develop, but now the reclaim back above that 210 is going to be key for any sort of continuation back towards the upside. Let's talk about some of the longer term trades. I wouldn't say offer or have the most momentum, but they offer good risk to reward and what still looks and are still shaping up fairly nicely here on the weekly time frame. Something like Google, nice break and retest on the weekly. We're going to be looking for that trade back up in towards our all-time highs, risk underneath that previous key pivot point here on Google. This one looks solid for a continuation higher. Apple looks really solid as well, right off that 290. Keep an eye on an Apple retest for a push back towards the upside, risk underneath 280 for a continuation higher. And then for the rest of the tech names that I already talked about, right, the semis continue to lead the markets higher. A good thing to keep in mind is the SMH, right? This one's very bullish. Every single dip is being bought up. We're just, of course, looking for continuation towards the upside. This is, right, we've already had a really solid push up on the major indices, and we're just going to continue to look for markets to move higher until the markets start to flip, until the markets start to break underneath the EMAs, until we have a lot more bearish news catalysts that actually drop the market, right? That's when we're going to be a little bit more cautious. But right now in this current market environment, we're just going to keep doing what works. And what works is buying dips to go long in the markets. Every single tech name, specifically the semiconductors in itself, are leading the markets higher. So we're going to continue to focus in on MU, SNDK, right? INTC, all these ones are continue to lead the markets, and we're going to look for dips on these ones to go back towards the upside. Don't try and look for names that are lagging behind. Those ones are a lot harder to trade, right? They offer good risk to reward, but they might not move and behave as much as names that are in a clear trend. So if you're looking for momentum trades, look for names that are above the 9 and 21 that are trending on the daily chart. If you're interested in names like Tesla, or right, Google, Microsoft, Meta, these ones offer great risk to reward, but you're just going to have to be in these ones a lot longer, and don't expect these names to work out right away. Something like a Tesla, with now the SpaceX IPO here, of course, is going to take a lot longer to set up. The break above 450 is going to send this towards the upside. But if you're interested in long term, right, they offer good risk to reward. For something like SpaceX, I do like this one a lot as well. SpaceX, the key levels that we have marked out is our previous day highs. Now we'll be looking for continuation towards the upside. As I mentioned, after the IPO, I'm bullish on SpaceX within the first couple weeks to of the first month. I do expect it in the longer term to drop, of course, but within the first couple weeks, I do expect to push up. Targets on SpaceX 180, 190, and of course that 200 key psychological level. But with that being said, right, focus on these names that I have right here. You can take a screenshot of these ones if you like as well. These are the top watches I'm going to be focusing on in this week in specific. If you guys did enjoy this video, appreciate if you guys drop a like and sub. If you guys haven't joined the free daily watch list, that of course is in the description below. I do my pre-market preps every single morning. We also have our live masterclass that's going to be happening tomorrow, so make sure to sign up for that. Yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys all tomorrow. All right, take care, everyone. Peace.